On April Fool's Day, I posted the following message to my YouTube channel. I will be posting an April Fool's Day video. Just not today. Smiley face. If you happened to see this post, you probably assumed that the joke was something like, I had an April Fool's Day video planned but refused to post it on April Fool's Day as sort of a classic creator troll move. Maybe it was even because I was trying to cover up the video not being done on time. However, if you happen to follow me on Twitter, you might have also seen this message. I will be releasing my April Fool's Day video on April 13th. Smiley face. Well, friends, today is April 13th. Or at least it will be for you if you watch this video on the day it comes out. Or one of its anniversaries. More importantly, April 13th is the birthday of one illustrious John Egbert, the protagonist of a mildly known webcomic called Homestuck. Today is Homestuck Day. You see, the April Fool's Day joke was never on you, not really. The April Fool's Day joke was on me. As of April 1st, 2022, I was on day 8 of reading the entirety of Homestuck from beginning to end for the very first time. I had tried to read Homestuck several years before, but it burned out after Act 4. This time, though, I would finish the comic the next day. Yes, that's right. I read all 8,000 pages and 800,000 words of Homestuck in a little over a week. I digested that behemoth of a story as though it was a poorly thought-out series of vodka shots. By the time April Fool's Day rolled around, I was running on about 20 hours of sleep over the past 5 days. I'd sent hundreds of rambling Discord messages at one of my friends. Thank you, Kita, for putting up with me. You are truly the best Colonel Sprite a girl could ask for. But most importantly, I had taken dozens upon dozens of reaction shots from the comic. The title for this video is probably something like, I read all of Homestuck in 9 days and here's my reaction. It's possible that might be a bit of clickbait. I'm not really here to talk about my thoughts regarding Homestuck. I mean, I don't know, I might include something later in this video briefly discussing what I thought about Homestuck. I guess keep watching to see if I did that. What this video is really about, however, is showing you the top reaction images I gathered during my Homestuck journey. Now I know what you might be thinking. North, there's literally a Tumblr site where they've gathered all of the Homestuck images I could possibly want. Isn't this video redundant? My answer to that is no. The problem with Homestuck reaction GIFs is that it frankly has too much. If you want to simply peruse the images for a particular character or a particular theme as though you were walking through the aisles of IKEA, then yes, it's a fantastic website. But in my opinion, its breadth is also its weakness. You are my lovely viewers. You deserve to be aware of the best reaction images that Homestuck has to offer. And for that cause, I am presenting myself as your chosen one. I am a new class spect known as the Curator of Memes. This is my planet. It is called Losam, the land of screens and misery. My denizen is, of course, named Andrew Hussey, and I completed my quest by exchanging 9 days of my life for a veritable fount of meme knowledge. I did this so that you don't have to. You're welcome. But as any good curator would know, art isn't meant to be kept in a shameful folder on your desktop. Art is meant to be shared, and so to fulfill my obligations as a curator of memes, I've prepared my top 50 Homestuck reaction images. Be warned that some of them may contain minor spoilers for the existence of characters who show up late in the comic. But to be entirely honest, if you haven't read Homestuck, knowing that a new character may show up later is a functionally meaningless spoiler. Also, it may spoil that a couple of the characters make God tier. I don't Unfortunately, I don't know what to do about that one. Though if you haven't read Homestuck, none of that likely makes sense to you, so it's probably not actually a spoiler. There is one arguably plot-heavy spoiler image in here, but I will warn you of that one ahead of time. Alright, so, without further ado, let me share it now. Let's begin counting down. Okay then, starting with reaction image number 53. Look, I tried to cut it down to 50 reaction images, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Let's face it, narrowing this list down to just 53 images from 8,000 pages of webcomic is still pretty impressive. You're going to have to live with the fact that yes, I lied to you just now, and also yes, this list is even more excessively long than you originally thought. Buckle in, babies. So starting with reaction image number 53, I have entitled this one Thinking John. It's from the Flash game on page 3695. I'm going to include the page numbers for all of these images in case you want to look up how they appeared in their original context. I know there are different ways to number Homestuck. I'm using the numbering from the unofficial Homestuck collection, which also generally tracks the numbering on the official Homestuck website. For each of these images, I'm also providing you with the name that I gave it when I saved it, because in the description of this video is a link to a folder with all of these pictures, and I don't want you to have any difficulty with navigating it. Again, you're welcome. This is a pretty basic image, but I like how vivid John's thinking expression is here, and it's always nice to have a thinking expression in your back pocket. I'm going to be honest with you though, a good number of these are going to be of John or Karkat, because frankly, they're probably the most expressive characters over the course of the comic. And you know, you want something punchy in a reaction image? I swear it's not just because they're my favorite characters. That's probably why I don't have but it is possible that I have so many images of them because they are my favorite characters. Moving on to reaction image number 52, we have Tavros, and he's just excited, alright? This picture is entitled Clapping Bull Boy because I took it before I could remember the names of the trolls, because I am terrible with names. So here Tavros is just a little bull boy, and he's excited and expressing that excited energy, and I'm sure nothing bad is ever going to happen to him in the future. This one is from page 2112, by the way. Reaction image number 51. Now here we have Surprise John, which is also from the Flash game on page 3695. Now I have more shocked type images later on in this list that I think are probably better than this one, but what I love about this picture is how John's expression is just slightly too over the top. Like, you can almost hear him saying, "Why, I do declare," as though he's a Southern belle, and I love that for him. Reaction image number 50. Here we have an image of Jane that I have entitled Annoyed and in a Disguise. It's from page 4242, and I can't get enough of that deadpan look on her face. Beautiful for when you want to show skepticism while reminding your friends that you're a giant weirdo. Basically, an incredibly relatable image. Image number 49. This one is called Everybody Out, and it's from page 2667. I adore this image, and the only reason it's lower on this list is that it's one of the less versatile images here. But you know, when you're chatting with your friends and need to order them out, it's perfect. You know, maybe you need them to change the subject, maybe you want to order them to go to horny jail. Whatever the reason you need them to get out, my son John has your back. Image number 48. This one is entitled Friendship, and it's an early one in the comic from all the way back on page 925. Again, it's a bit specific, but it's a lovely image. Great for telling your friends that you received something from them in the mail, but I think you could even broaden it to express joy at having received something more intangible. Type, "Thank you for sending me that excellent Homestuck reaction image. I received this with joy," and drop this baby into your chat. Image number 47. This is actually a series of reaction images entitled Intense Stare Down for, obvious reasons. These first show up on pages 6197 through 6201, though versions of these pictures also come up later in the story. It's great to know that you can react to a person's statement with confusion and then escalate that confusion. Again, my son John has you covered. Image number 46. Here we have fetal position John from the animation on page 948. I mean, this one is really self-explanatory. Use when you feel like curling into a ball from a mind-shattering revelation. Bam! Done. Image number 45. This one is Laughing Rose from the Flash game on page 5263. What I like about this is it's a laughing image, but it's classy, you know? Sometimes you just want to show dignified amusement at your friend's joke. I also think this would work as an excellent flirting image. You're laughing about the fact that your crush told you about stairs, but you want to stay a little bit coy, as you do. Image number 44. Here we have the first of many Karkat reaction images. This one is entitled Karkat Eye Roll, and it's from the Flash game on page 3321. This is a basic, expressive image. Now I do have another eye roll reaction pick later on that I think is a bit more unique, but for your everyday eye rolls, Karkat has your back. Image number 43. This one is called Happy John 2 because, I'm sorry, did I mention I took a ton of captures of John? Happy John was already taken by this point in the comic. This is from page 74-77. Perfect for reacting to anything adorable. I mean, honestly, if someone posted this reaction image to me, I'd probably just post it right back because, I mean, look at that face. How could you not love that face? Image number 42. This one is actually a series of images of sad gremlins. I know they're called carapations or whatever, but this is my video, Sad Gremlins. These are from pages 888, 1840, 1938, and 3003. You know, sometimes you want to express that you're feeling sad, and a little pathetic, and also that you're a little bit of a gremlin. Well, now you have 4 different flavors of that to choose from. You're welcome. Image number 41. This is John rolling eyes. This is the other eye roll capture that I was talking about. This is from page 3408. It's just so expressive. I love it. The roll. Ah, perfect. Beautiful. Hey, so now that we're done with the first 10 images, and yes, that was definitely 10 images, you can go back and count them, I've decided that it's time for an intermission. So this is editing North. Not to be confused with pre-recorded voiceover North. And I realized in the course of editing this video that going through 50 images straight through, and again it is 50, you can go back and count them, was going to be just a bit much, so I'm going to throw in a few intermissions in here because, you know, why not? Truly in the spirit of Homestuck, right? And as a bonus, you get to see me in Homestuck chibi form. So, I mentioned in the original pre-recorded voiceover that I might talk about my actual thoughts and reactions to Homestuck, so that's what I'm going to do, I think, in these intermissions. I kind of figure if I don't say something, people are going to ask me in the comments anyways, and might as well address it in the video itself, so let's do it. Let's talk about the Homestuck. So back when I wrote the original script for this video, I did prepare myself a list of questions I might want to answer just in case I decided to do something like this. So thank you, past self, thank you, scriptwriting North. Let me start going through them now then. So, question 1, why did you read Homestuck in 9 days? That is a very excellent question, past self, and I don't quite know how to answer it. The most honest answer is that I suspect I have undiagnosed ADHD, and my brain tends to hyperfocus. And that sort of combined with the fact that, as I mentioned, I tried reading Homestuck a few years ago, but I burned out after Act 4, And I had a feeling the same thing would probably happen this time around too. So if I wanted to finish Homestuck, I had to shotgun it. So that's the best answer I can give. You know, it was kind of fun to take it on as a sort of a personal quest, if that makes any sense. You know, sometimes you have to do crazy things to remind yourself that you're alive. So for some people, that's skydiving. And for me, it's apparently self-harm to my psyche via webcomic. So there you go. There we go. All right, question 2. Would you recommend reading Homestuck in 9 days? No. No, don't do it. No. Bad. It's bad for your brain. Bad. Don't do it. A truly honest story here. The day I finished Homestuck, I went to IKEA to pick up some organizing supplies and a tea strainer. So there were literally 2 things on my list, and I didn't realize how tired I was until I was at IKEA, and things were kind of blurry, and I was having trouble remembering what I came there to buy. And remember, there were 2 things on my list, so I finally made it to the self-checkout with some organization totes, great, on my list, a tea strainer, great, on the list, a whole lot of chocolate, an IKEA bag keychain, which is adorable, by the way, I don't regret this, and some kitchen towels. So I guess I did eventually make it to the end with the things on my list, even though I felt like I was floating part of the time. I checked out, I picked up myself to leave, and about 15 feet from the checkout stand, so that's about 5 meters for you non-imperialist folks, I realized that I wasn't holding enough things, and I had in fact forgotten one of the organization totes. So I go back to the self-checkout stand, and it's not there. It's like not on the area where you put your stuff after you've checked out. And so I looked behind it a bit, but like, here's the thing. There is an employee standing right next to the self-checkout stand that I was at. So you'd think, first of all, right, if I had truly obviously forgotten it, she would have seen it and probably like said, "Hey ma'am, you forgot this thing." Second of all, I feel too self-conscious to like do a thorough search of the self-checkout stand to see if it fell behind something or underneath something. So eventually I get to a point where I'm like, maybe I am quite tired. Maybe I didn't actually buy this tote. So I check my receipt. Nope, I bought it. And eventually I just gave up and left. Like, I was too embarrassed and ashamed to do anything more than that. I learned the price of my dignity that day, and it's apparently worth at least as much as an $8 IKEA tote. The only explanation I have is that some Homestuck hijinks were involved, some time purifier hijinks. So maybe this tote will show up in my future, or maybe it'll show up in yours. So if you randomly encounter a gray IKEA set of shoe totes, you're welcome. It's a gift from Homestuck Chibi North. And I swear that is really a true story. That's not just a bit for this video. I just have to interrupt this for a second. This is not to be confused with Editing North. This is April 12th Editing North, finalizing the video for release on April 13th. And today, I received an email from IKEA asking me to review the shoe totes. Like, chef's kiss. Beautiful. Could not have been more perfect. Thank you, IKEA. Alright, question 3. Oh, geez, I forgot that I wrote this. What would your troll Sona be? That's hilarious, Past North, but no, I'm not answering that. Moving on. Question 4. Oh, of course. What would your trollsona be, you coward? I'm not taking the bait past north, but I appreciate your attempts to antagonize me. If this doesn't give you a window into my psyche, I don't know what will. So, skipping that one as well. Question 5. Nope. Not answering that one either. I was really on one when I wrote these questions. Okay, just a second. Let me scroll down. Okay, here we go. Question 6. Who are your favorite characters? My top 3 characters in no particular order are John, Dave, and Karkat. Roxy would be a really close 4th, and then after that are probably Dirk, Terezi. I don't know how to pronounce these names. And Baking Dad. I decided that Dad deserved to have more of a moniker than just Dad because he's amazing. So he's known in my head as Baking Dad, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Nope, more harassing myself. So, you know what? Why don't we call it on this intermission and get back to your regularly scheduled content? Here's the thing, actually. This is a good part about recording myself in more of this freeform way instead of a scripted way, is that all I have to do now is stop this recording and, like, drop it into my editing timeline with some dorky little Homestuck pictures and, wait a second. What the heck? Affects the timeline always makes sense. And of course, there are just some dropped plot threads and parts. When it really brings all of these points together narratively, it works really well. But I think, like, for example, the ending of Homestuck, it's not nearly as strong as the midpoint of. Image number 40. Okay, this one is entitled Confused Baking Dad, and versions of this sort of image exist throughout Homestuck wherever Baking Dad shows up. This particular one is from page 4279. And yes, I call Dad Baking Dad. I mean, come on. He deserves a better name than just Dad. I'm not apologizing for this. He's perfect for all expressions of confusion, of I don't understand, please give me more information, of reacting to being sucked into a terrible video game world. There you go. Keep this man on hand. You're going to use him, and not just because he's freakishly strong. Image number 39. Here I've actually grouped 2 images of Karkat, and I've paired them together because I love them both, but I didn't want to give them separate rankings on the list. The first one is called Cringe Troll because, again, it was before I knew the troll names, and it is from page 1526. The second one is called Disturbed Karkat because it was from after I knew the troll names, and it is from the Flash game on page 2792. Honestly, no one expresses the experience of cringe like Karkat. I love him for that. Image number 38. These are another 2 images that I've decided to pair together. Unlike the others, it's not because they're directly related to each other, but because the expressions are so similar and yet distinctly beautiful that I wanted to include both. First, we have Jade Whoa face from page 3008. Then we have Bewildered face from page 1191. Honestly, the shock and horror expressed by both of these faces, incredible. Love it. Image number 37. This is the one image that I am going to warn might be a bit of a spoiler, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, because I'm not certain how much you'd actually gather from this image if you're going into Homestuck blind, but it is related to a major storyline in Act 5, so skip ahead to the timestamp if you want. Here we have Shoosh, is from page 4090. You know, when your friend is out of control and you just need to shoosh them. Maybe it's because you're in the process of reading Homestuck in 9 days and you want them to stop judging you for your life choices. Well, here you go. Shush. Image number 36. This image is called Jake's Shocked Face. It's from page 5069. What I love about this picture is that it's basically Shocked Pikachu face, except make it Homestuck. You did good here, Jake. You are a mess at relationships, but you're definitely a natural at Shocked Pikachu face. Image number 35. We have another pair of reaction images here, though this time I'm not stretching this as a grouping. This basic image shows up a number of times in Homestuck, but these images with Karkat and Rose are two of my favorite versions. You can find them on pages 1908 and 650 respectively. Sometimes you have a facepalm situation, but sometimes things have escalated to the point where a single facepalm, oh, no way is that going to cut it. Well, congratulations, you have now unlocked the facepalm double combo! Gosh, I'm such a dork. Image number 34, this image is called John Raging. It's from page 5287. This is for those skyward scream moments, those times when you just want to raise your fists to the heavens and yell, "Charge!" It's beautiful, I love it. Image number 33, here we have the exact opposite emotion. This one is Yuwu John from page 6234, and really, do I have to say anything more? Image number 32, this is from the Flash game on page 3321. I've called it Embarrassed Kanaya, but honestly, what I love about this picture is its versatility. Embarrassment, bemusement, skepticism. All of these emotions can be found in this single image. Truly, Kanaya, you have created a wonder. And I'm really hoping now that I pronounced Kanaya's name correctly. Let me know in the comments if I'm a Homestuck idiot who got it wrong. Image number 31, this is called John Having a Complete Meltdown from page 5306. You know, sometimes you've provided a skyward scream and it's not enough. When you find yourself in that situation, go for it. Go for the full meltdown. I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin with this recording. I don't even know why I'm making it. Nobody's gonna believe me, even if I record all this. I mean, I guess Alright, I'll start with the background. So I've been working on a very silly video about Homestuck, and I was recording a part for that video, and at the end of recording it, I was I just took a look at my editing timeline to see where I was going to drag it in, and you know, once I was finished with it, and there was just a whole bunch of stuff in my editing timeline that I hadn't put there, which is just not possible because I'm the only person who has access to this laptop. So unless this was some sort of elaborate, like, hacking into my laptop just to mess with an editing timeline, which seems really unrealistic, right? And more than that, these parts that were put in, they have recordings of me, but I have no memory of making them. I don't understand what's going on. Let me just show you. I've been playing through parts of this to try to see if I can figure out what's going on, and then I just thought, yeah, let's record it. Have some sort of documentation. I really love watching relationships form between characters. I just don't particularly care if those relationships are platonic or romantic or somewhere in between. You know, and I do get that. I don't... Hey there, bestie. I don't... Hey. Hey there, bestie. No. No, there's no way you're talking. That's not... I'm talking to the gremlin standing right behind my laptop as I record this. Of course I'm talking to you. How is... Okay, how is that?
No. Oh, no. Okay. You need to stop. You need to stop watching the editing timeline, especially because I know you're screen capturing this, and we both know our laptop isn't going to enjoy the screen capturing while running the editing software that it can barely run as it is. So, instead, I want you to open a folder on your desktop.
What folder?
Oh, you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
You got all that?
Yeah?
All right, bye, bestie. Goodbye. See you later.
Okay. I assume it's this folder? I don't know what any of this, I guess I start here.
Hey there, past North. It's me, present North. Though I suppose for you, I'm future North. Now I see that...
Is there any chance you can hear me? The other recording she could...
Of course I can hear you.
How is that possible?
I'm still trying to work out the mechanics of it. But the short answer appears to be that our laptop has become somewhat unhinged from time.
What?
I said what I said.
But that doesn't make any sense.
I repeat, I said what I said.
But that doesn't explain how recordings of myself are becoming like calls to the future.
It's be centered around recordings that are in our editing timeline.
But this was in a folder on my desktop. It wasn't on.
No, but it will be. I'll give you a moment if you need it.
Didn't you just break causality? By telling me that this is going to be in my editing timeline in some fashion, and then just by having this recording in the first place in order to maintain what a stable time loop, I now am forced to make that and put it into my video, and I'm doing this because my future self told my past self, who's going to become my future self, and then tell my past self, and where did...
All right there, bestie. I'm going to give you some advice that I know you're going to promptly ignore because I sure did. But I've learned it's really best not to think too hard about these things.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's not a problem.
There. It's all going to be okay. Do you need me to sing you a song?
I hate this.
Did you really think you could blitz through a cursed relic like Homestuck in 9 days and that there wouldn't be consequences?
No, but I assumed they would all be psychological.
Well, congratulations! You've birthed a new cosmic horror! You must be so proud.
What is wrong with you? You can't you hear what I'm... What am I saying? You're me, so you went through all of this. You know exactly what I'm going through because you...
Indeed, bestie.
And your response, your reaction, my reaction is to treat a very understandable existential crisis with sarcasm?
Apparently. But hey, at least I'm being peppy about it.
I think I hate you?
Probably. But hey, since we're both here, why don't you ask me some of those Homestuck questions? It can be like a real interview instead of you just being sad and alone in your apartment.
You realize that by insulting me, you're just insulting yourself, right?
You're my past self. I've moved on.
How far in my future are you?
Let's see here. Few days, two days, and about 4 hours.
That's barely in the future. We're still basically the same person.
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree, bestie. Hear those questions?
Fine. I think we were on question 8.
No, you weren't.
No, I think
But you skipped a bunch of questions.
Yeah, because they were stupid. I thought they were funny when I wrote them, but now looking back at them, I realized that they were all incredibly although I guess not more stupid than this bit right here.
I'm sorry, are you calling my existence a bit? My existence is not a bit.
Well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on that, bestie.
Well, since you're not being cooperative, I guess I'll have to open the document and take matters into my own hands. Question 3. What would your troll sona be?
Would you stop that?
That is an excellent question, Pass North. Or, I guess I should say Super Pass North, since you're also Pass North for me. I've given this a lot of thought.
No. No, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. This is so stupid, and I have a feeling you're only doing this to annoy me, which again seems very strange given that you basically are me. So, I just...
Am I though?
Yes, you are. So I'm going to stop this recording and go back to video editing and pretend like none of this.
Good luck with that.
Image number 30. This one is from page 919, and I've called it Intense Jade. Sometimes you're armed. You have your foe in your sights, and you are not afraid to stare them down. You are willing to take on a confrontation, whether that's with an annoying idea online, a project you need to finish, your Kismesis, whatever. I mean, actually, after this panel, Jade does back down, but you don't have to. Image number 29, this one is called Eyebrows Rose from the animation on page 2373. This is for those times when you want to be just a little bit saucy, you know? Give some flirt action. Or maybe express some bemused skepticism. Perhaps you're making a bad joke and you know that and you want to show that the bad joke is ironic by showing that you know that. I really think the sky is the limit here as long as a little bit saucy is in there somewhere. Image number 28, here we have Disturbed Kanaya capture. This is from page 2720. Now I realize that I've already had some disturbed reaction images, but the level of disturb present on Kanaya's face is incredible here. Look at the size of the pupils. Look how one eye appears to be twitching just slightly more than the other. This is for those top-tier disturb moments, like meeting an eldritch horror or opening up Twitter. Image number 27. Now it might seem counterintuitive that I've placed Facepalm RPG Karkat from the Flash game on page 3321 here, even higher up the list from those Facepalm double combos above. But you have to understand that the reason for this is that, and I'm speaking from experience here, this image is so incredibly usable. You don't always want to escalate to a double facepalm. You need to use that one sparingly so it doesn't lose its punchiness. But single facepalm Karkat, now that is a true reaction image staple. Image number 26, this is Dave crying laughing from page 6313. Honestly, this is just a beautiful picture. I know there's a bit of tension between millennials and zoomers about whether the crying laughing emoji is good or should only be used ironically, so sidestep that entirely. Just use this picture of Dave. Image number 25, here we have John Concerned Face from page 6088. I think it's obvious that the pixelatedness of this image really makes it what it is. When you post this, not only are you showing that you're concerned or disturbed, but it's to the level that you are losing your physical definition as a person. Always frustrating when that happens. Image number 24, this picture is Side-Eye from page 5528. I really don't think I can say anything about this image that it doesn't say for itself. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's a work of art. Hello, compadres. It's me, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber. While my past self is preoccupied having a nervous breakdown about the space-time continuum, I've decided to take an early intermission, and we can continue along with those questions about Homestuck. I'm actually going to move on to question 8, though don't worry. We'll circle back to question 3 in a bit. So, question 8, did you enjoy Homestuck? Well, script writing North, I feel like maybe that should have been question 1, but, that's okay, we're just burying the lead here a bit. You can't change the past you can. You can change the past, but not without creating a doomed timeline. That's for sure. So did I enjoy Homestuck? Yes, though I would say in general that Homestuck reads as a really solid first draft. It does definitely feel like a serial story written by someone who had a general sense of where the plot was heading, but not a definite means of getting there. And that's on top of the fact that, of course, Homestuck was originally conceived around responding to forum commands. So in the early parts of the story, there is a lot of messing around with the world to see what happens that does lay some of the early world building, but it doesn't really go anywhere aside from that. So, I guess in terms of what I liked and didn't like more specifically, and without spoilers in case you haven't read and you think you might someday. So in terms of what I liked, I am really impressed with Hussey's ability for characterization. Even though by the end of Homestuck we have about 50 main characters, and no, that's really not an exaggeration if you haven't read Homestuck, all of the characters feel distinct and unique. There's also a ton of dialogue in Homestuck, but I'd say most of it is pretty fun because Hussey has a real knack for writing in like individual voices for each character. For example, I mentioned that Karkat was one of my favorite characters, and whenever he's going off on someone, and especially if that someone is Dave or John, it's just a friggin' delight. And there are multiple characters where I just felt like whenever they were on the page, just great. Good times were had by all. Homestuck is also definitely a coming-of-age story, and some of the characters have really fantastic arcs in that regard. I would personally like to give a special mention to Dave, who both on this read and on my previous attempted read of Homestuck was someone I strongly disliked in the beginning, but over the course of the comic you get to watch Dave grow and mature and grapple with some pretty weighty things in ways that are incredibly interesting. And I mean, again, I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't read, but it's very good and it's very well done. Also, just because I'm mentioning Dave in particular, please don't quote that line Dave says about not having a character arc, because I have thoughts about that line, but it's obviously untrue. So I'm not gonna get into detail here. Homestuck is also a sprawling story set over time and space with the fate of civilizations in the balance, and there is definitely an epicness to that is really fun. And given the number of loose threads and, insane time hijinks that Homestuck leaves for itself to wrap up, I think it does a pretty good job overall. Not everything is resolved in the end, but there aren't as many dropped plot points as I think you'd expect from a comic this long that jumps between times and characters and events as much as it does. And when you get to watch when the threads that Homestuck has laid down for itself start to weave together in an aha sort of moment, it is genuinely quite fun and rewarding to see. The ending of Act 5 in particular was very strong and moving, and I thought very well done. So I think that kind of covers the main things that I did really like about Homestuck. In terms of what I didn't like, number one has to be the pacing. So as I mentioned at the beginning of Homestuck, back when the comic was still firmly centered around form commands, there is a whole lot of not much happening going on. And even when the plot does engage, it'll stop periodically to explain more world mechanics or add dialogue. I mean, I mentioned that I do like most of the dialogue in here, but there is a lot of dialogue. There were probably a good, I'd say about 1,500 pages in Act 6 where I was pretty much bored out of my mind. And honestly, part of the reason I was so focused on taking these silly reaction images is because it gave me something to do during the slow parts of Homestuck. It just feels like there is a ton of extraneous information that Hussey put in because they came up with a thing and they thought that it was cool, or they came up with a thing and they thought it would be relevant later, and then it ended up not really being that relevant. Or frankly, Hussey wanted to just troll the fans. And all of that, like, if you were to go back and edit Homestuck to streamline it, all of that could be moved to, like, a Silmarillion sort of book, a Homestuckrillion. Something that's focused around the world of Homestuck, that if you're really into that world, you can read it, but if not, you don't need it to understand the story. The other thing, I guess, related to this is that Homestuck has so many characters. And like I mean, look, I'm not going back on what I said. I do think Hussey has a really good knack for characterization, and I did like a lot of the characters. But the problem is it gets to a point where you are constantly being introduced to new characters. Even in the last 500 pages, Hussey is still introducing new characters. And the largest reason that Homestuck has a pacing problem is because it just has so many characters to balance, and that causes the plot to grind to a halt, especially at the end of the story when Hussey's trying to, wrap up some sort of conclusion for most of these characters. I don't think that it would have impacted the scope of the story Hussey was trying to tell, or really the ability to tell it, if we had, like, half or even a third fewer main characters. I guess moving away from characters, the plot of Homestuck is convoluted at best. I've been trying to explain it to a friend, and it's been going poorly. We're not even through, like, a quarter of Homestuck at this point. And, I mean, really, I do think you could see how complicated the plot of Homestuck is as either a positive or a negative. I think I personally fall somewhere in the middle. I really like how Homestuck engages with ideas like especially time travel and its consequences in a way that I don't often see in media. But I don't think Homestuck really knows where to draw the line between balancing its thought experiments and keeping the narrative engaging. And also because it is so complicated, there are parts that can be hard to follow. And I wouldn't say, like, I think there are parts of Homestuck that are intentionally hard to follow because you're supposed to be questioning, like, what's going on here and how is this going to relate to the story later. But I'm talking about parts that I don't know that Homestuck really wanted to be hard to follow. I mean, honestly, I just stopped thinking about time travel too much because it made my head hurt, and I also don't think that Homestuck's explanation of how time travel works and what does and doesn't affect the timeline always makes sense. And of course, there are just some dropped plot threads and parts. When it really brings all of these points together narratively, it works really well. But I think, like, for example, the ending of Homestuck, it's not nearly as strong as the midpoint of Homestuck at the end of Act 5. Just because at this point, we just have so much to wrap up. And I honestly don't know if anyone could have written an ending that I found really narratively satisfying, I guess, would be the way I'd put it. And then really the last thing that I really didn't like is the romantic drama. It was just, oh gosh, it was just too much.
I'm not really one to get into shipping culture, and that's not a value judgment on whether you get into it or not. And don't get me wrong, I really love watching relationships form between characters. I just don't particularly care if those relationships are platonic or romantic or somewhere in between. You know, and I do get that. Hey there, bestie. Hey. Hey there, bestie. Now I'm talking to the gremlin standing right behind my laptop as I record this. Of course I'm talking to you. No. Oh, no. Okay. You need to stop. You need to stop watching the editing timeline, especially because I know you're screen capturing this, and we both know our laptop isn't going to enjoy the screen capturing while running the editing software that it can barely run as it is. So, instead, I want you to open a folder on your desktop. Oh, you'll know it when you see it. You got all that? Alright, bye, bestie. Goodbye. See you later. Sorry about that. Just had to close the time loop there. What was... Oh, right. Shipping. Yes, that's... I was complaining about shipping. Right, so I think I was just saying that I understand that it's realistic to expect that teenagers pumped full of adrenaline and hormones would have a hard time discussing their feelings with each other, but, the angst. The angst in Act 6 is just, it's not my jam. And then, actually, I said that was going to be my last point, but there is a lot of humor in Homestuck that was either edgy for the time period or already insensitive for the time period, and has aged poorly. And in particular, Hussey has a real problem with how they engage with African American culture. And it's to the point that it made me pretty uncomfortable from the beginning of Homestuck to the end. While the comic has some really fantastic representation across the spectrum for gender and sexuality, particularly for the time period, it does not do the same thing for other types of diversity. So I think that is just something to be aware of if you decide to read. So I guess setting that last point aside, I'd say, yeah, I enjoyed Homestuck. I really loved some of the characters and their interactions. I definitely cried multiple times. Whenever the plot starts to ramp up, it's pretty dang mesmerizing. But all of that is undermined by some really uneven pacing, and your mileage is going to vary on how you feel about how complicated the plot is, and the number of characters, and their many romantic entanglements. And for the record, I don't want to pretend like any of these thoughts are highly original. I know Homestuck has been discussed to death online, and I'm mostly noting all of the above, partially for my sake, because I'm still trying to work through my thoughts on Homestuck, and partially because I think, as I mentioned before, I know that people ask me in the comments if I don't say something in the video, so I'm just gonna say it in the video. I also want to mention, too, that Homestuck was written from, ignoring all of the stuff that happened after Homestuck, so the epilogues in Homestuck 2, Homestuck was written from 2009 to 2016. And it was written both for pop culture and even more especially internet culture that existed during that time period, especially from, I'd say, around 2009 to 2013-14. And based on statements I've heard from friends who like Homestuck and read it while it was coming out, I think the story and even some of what I would consider the inconsequential world building is going to make a lot more sense and resonate with you more if you are familiar with that version of internet culture. Quite a bit of Homestuck is parodying or satirizing or at least otherwise commenting on the internet at the time. And so, even though I was definitely an adult for that period of the internet, I wasn't really online that much, or at least I wasn't online in the right spaces. Like, I've never been on Tumblr, for example. And so I know that I personally didn't pick up on everything Homestuck was trying to say.
and I think that this is something to be aware of if you decide to read Homestuck. Additionally, parts of Homestuck are basically Hussey straight up reacting to the fandom. Whether that's addressing fan theories or straight up trolling the fans. And again, if you're a new reader in 2022 or beyond, you're just not going to pick up on all of that. I've actually been listening to the podcast Homestuck Made This World by the group Range to Touch. And I would recommend that podcast if you decide to read, because one of the hosts read Homestuck from its inception, and the other one is reading for the first time. And between them, they do a good job talking about what I've said, like addressing the internet culture of the time, talking about how people were reacting in the forums, dissecting some of the humor that has not aged well, and it's definitely helped deepen my understanding of the comic and what it's trying to do. So yeah, that was all the answer to a single question. Did you like Homestuck? Great time management here, sweetheart. I'm definitely gonna just call it for this. So let's wrap up and get on with the video. Image number 23. This is Triumphant John from the animation on page 6231. Just look at his goofy eyes. Perfect for when you accomplish something as trivially meaningful as recreating the Homestuck logo out of a deck of cards. You deserve to celebrate your accomplishments, and you deserve to celebrate them with John. Image number 22. Here we have another picture from the Flash game on page 3321, and this time it's crying Kanaya. I love this image for two reasons. One, it's an incredibly expressive picture of sadness. Two, in the Flash game, this particular sprite only comes up once, and it's Kanaya pretending to cry. It makes this reaction image thus perfect for situations in which you want to express true, bawl your eyes out pain, as well as, oh no, this pretty pointless thing happened, so I'm just gonna pretend to be sad about it. Wah. Love it. Image number 21. We have another pair of images here because, man, these are so freaking adorable. I can't just choose one. What do I have, a heart of stone? They are John hugging Karkat from page 7216 and John hugging Dave from page 7217. I love these kids. Just such perfect reaction images. They're just the best. Image number 20. I've called this picture Oomph, and I clipped this one from page 5924, though this image shows up a number of times in Act 6. I mean, how do I even describe this picture? What expression is this? I know it in my heart, but I don't think that I have words to explain it. At any rate, that's why you have reaction images, right? Image number 19, I've called this image Terezi Coolface, and I'm again hoping that I pronounced Terezi's name correctly and it's not Terezi. It's gotta be Terezi, right? Terezi just sounds weird. I've called this image Terezi Coolface, and it's from page 2569. I like to think of this expression as the sunglasses emoji, but you know, just a little bit evil. Or like the embodiment of the meme, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't know. But still, just a little bit evil. Image number 18. Oh, man. Here we have my boy, Smiling Slimer. This guy shows up a number of times because he's John's avatar. But this picture is from way back at the beginning of Homestuck on page 105. This was the first reaction image I saved, and just look at that face. Just unadulterated happiness. It doesn't matter what happens to Slimer, he just keeps on smiling. I love that for him. And as a bonus, I've also included John's ASCII art Slimer from page 845. Image number 17. Here we have Shocked Vriska from page 2733. Characters in this shocked pose pop up throughout the first half of Homestuck, but I genuinely think Vriska's is the best version of this pose because not only does she look shocked, but like mortally embarrassed. There is some real pain going on here. Use Vriska's pain to convey your own. Image number 16. This is Laughing Terezi from the Flash game on page 2792. Man, I'm sorry, Vriska, but no one can do an evil grin quite like Terezi. Similar there, past self. Welcome back. I see your curiosity finally overcame your breakdown and you opened up another recording in that there folder. So, are you ready to cooperate? Do I have a choice? If you want to maintain a stable time loop, not particularly, no. Love how this excuse of stable time loops is being used to undermine my free will. You'll get over it. Will I, though? Oh, yeah. Because believe me, this here, great fun. That is not a healthy attitude to have, says the girl who read Homestuck in 9 days. You also read Homestuck in 9 days. Your point? I'm not pretending like anything here is healthy. Just that it's, and I repeat, great fun. Read the question, past self. Read the question. I hate you. I know, bestie. We've got some real spade self-love going on here. Read the question. Question 3. There you go. What would your troll sona be? I'm so glad you asked that. I've given this a lot of thought. Have you now? And my troll sona would be Narota YouTuber. Are you serious? I would have gold blood because, obviously. And my Lussus would be a Velociraptor. Velociraptors are not a thing on Alternia. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. How do you know? Have you researched this? Have you? Maybe. Possibly. Possibly not. Maybe. You're going to make Homestuck fans mad by just making stuff up that's not in the canon. Who's even gonna watch this video? The only videos YouTube recommends to people are our videos on Pathologic. Brutal, but true. Still, I don't think anyone out there is clamoring around saying, you know what Homestuck really needs? For Jurassic Park to be canon on Alternia. Maybe not, but they should be. Dinosaurs are awesome. Oh, come on, you can't deny that dinosaurs are awesome. You're right. They are awesome. See? This is still stupid. Oh. Oh no. I see you found the selfie I left you. You mean you cosplaying as your terrible troll OC by wearing our ridiculous Jurassic World jacket? Why? Are you doing this? Why are you wearing horns? How did you even make— Nope. You know what? I don't want the answer to that. Made them out of a Costco protein bar box with some highlighters, and then I tucked them under a headband. They're great. Should have made a second pair though, you know, since I'm a gold blood. Are they great though? Yes. Oh, you're sure about that? The only thing in my life I've ever been more certain about than those horns is that my Lussus would be a Velociraptor. I suppose at least you're not wearing gray body paint. Thought about it, but that did seem like a huge mess, and even I have my limits. I hate you. Well aware of that. Thanks. Do you want to know my typing quirk, past self? No. But I know you're going to tell me anyways. I put words randomly in quotation marks, which has the double benefit of looking like I've got little Velociraptor claw marks in my sentences and making me sound extra sarcastic. Great. Happy for you. Aw, me too, bestie. You know, I'm still sticking with, if any Homestuck fans watch this, you're going to get murdered in the comments. Yeah. You know, interesting. You should mention that. Let me pull up a Twitter post I seem to remember we made while reading the comic. Alright. Oh, yeah, here we go. It's a snippet of dialogue between Karkat and John that we've captioned, "This is so exactly the relationship I have with the bad comments I get on my YouTube videos." Should I read it to you? No, I know what it's— Karkat, you actually want me to troll you? I mean, don't worry, I can and I will, and it will be a bloodbath when I get started. It's just kind of weird you're excited about it. Is that normal for your race? John, I don't know. Probably not. I just think it's kind of funny when you do it. Why are you doing this to me? North, you're well aware that inside of you are two wolves, a chaos gremlin and a straight man. And time has opened up to allow both of them to be present simultaneously. It's a beautiful gift. I regret all of the choices that have led me to this moment, and I regret nothing. You should keep reading your questions. Question 4. What's your trollsona, you coward? Well, I'm not a coward. Only you. So I think we're finally good there. What's question 5? If you were a kernel sprite, what would you want to be double prototyped? Wait, this is such a bad question. Why did we write this? It only makes sense if you read a decent amount of Homestuck, and I thought we were trying to make this video accessible to people who have and haven't read. Ignoring that, I've also given this a lot of thought, and I think I would want to be double prototyped with a PS5. Oh, no. You've figured out why, haven't you? So you can be the living embodiment of the "It's me, boy, I'm the PS5" meme?
It's me, boy, I'm the PS5, speaking to you inside your brain. Listen to me, boy. Leave the girl. We don't need her.
Aw, bestie, you're so smart. That's why we're gold bloods.
Stop calling me bestie. We're the same person. I'm you from 2 freaking days ago.
Bestie, I think you're really getting too overworked.
Overworked by the magical ability to interact with my future self, who immediately decides, let's troll the past self who's still grappling with the fact that she has somehow inadvertently broken space-time?
And let it out.
That's it. You know what? That is it. I can see that somehow through your laptop time shenanigans, you've added all this footage to my editing timeline, but that goes both ways. If you can add it, then I can delete it.
Ah, bestie.
Oh my gosh, I told you to stop calling me bestie.
Come on, why don't you go get something to eat?
This is so weird. You're so freaking weird.
It's so fun riling you up.
No, this is literally insane. What do you stand to gain from this?
Absolutely everything. Don't you see? There are no consequences to trolling you because I've already experienced them. I've already felt all this psychic damage. Now I get to reap the enjoyment of causing it in the first place.
We're done here. We are, oh my gosh, we are done here. Oh, deleting all of the crap from the editing timeline now. I'm deleting it. We're just going with a normal reaction image video. None of this intermission nonsense. I don't care if the video ends up with a pacing problem without it. It's not good. It's not funny. All of this is just... What is that? Why are you doing this? Stop doing that.
It's not me.
It's you. It has to be if it's not you. Oh no.
Hey there, kiddos.
Oh, kill me now.
Comments to the previous image of Teresi apply. This is for times when you want to look amused, when you want to wholeheartedly laugh, but also come across as just a little bit evil. Image number 15. This image is Nepeta Angry Biting. Again, hoping I pronounced that right. It's not Nepeta. It can't be Nepeta. It's gotta be Nepeta. Nepeta Angry Biting from page 2163. I feel like this picture is so relatable. Sometimes you're just so frustrated you want to bite something. Thank you, Nepeta. We needed this. Image number 14, here we have Blubbering Pansy from page 2472, so named because this is what Jack calls Karkat in this image. Aside from the picture being hilarious, this is great for the times when you want to show emotional support, but be snarky about it. That feels like a relatable situation to me. Or perhaps you want to express your dismay, but be snarky about it. Again, feels like a relatable situation to me. This image is definitely not just specific to myself and my lifestyle. Image number 13. This reaction image is John screaming no, and it first appears on page 6330. I feel like this is another of those circumstances where I can't really explain the image or where you would use it. You know, you should just feel this one in your soul. It should be self-explanatory. And when you do, when you feel it deep in your heart, when you feel that no, paste this baby in your chat window. Image number 12, here we have Vriska in pain from page 2635. I know I've had other images on this list for expressing the emotion of help. I am currently sustaining psychic damage, but this is truly the perfect one. Which makes sense, considering that Vriska is psychic and in pain at the time of this image from being psychic. Sometimes it takes displaying someone expressing their lived experiences to help you truly convey your own. Image number 11. Again, we have a pair of images, and this time they are Dave thumbs up. These are from pages 2776 and 2777. Here I wanted to give you a thumbs up image, but make it Homestuck. Just a good, solid thumbs up image from your buddy Dave. And bonus, you get 2 to choose from. Alright. With that, we enter the top 10 Homestuck reaction images, as objectively gathered for you by your friendly neighborhood curator of memes. Let's count them down. Image number 10. Here is another pair of reaction images. Karkat and Dave sad is from page 6230, and Jake and Jane sad is from 5892. I just love these so much. The sad face is so unbelievably perfect. And again, I've given you options. I would go with Karkat and Dave personally, but do what feels right for you. Change it up in the moment. I don't think the alpha timeline will care. Image number 9. This one is called Lil Cal Out Window, and it's from page 1722. This is a great picture because sometimes you need to remove trash from your life. And also sometimes that trash is a hideous puppet that has haunted you from the moment it set its floppy, stupid little feet on the screen of your stupid laptop and stared at you with its stupid, horrible eyes. I'm fine. I just hate that puppet. Image number 8. This picture is called Bonk Head Troll and is from the animation on page 1931. For the times when your emotional pain can only be expressed through additional physical pain, such as when you're yelling. Oh, kill me now. Oh, hello, future self. How are you doing? Editing this conversation into the video. Oh, nice. Did you give me the Trollsona that I sketched up? I did indeed. Yay! Also, having listened to that last conversation multiple times during the editing process, I think it's time for me to do a little bit of auspicing between the two of you. Oh, for the love of... Please don't bring the trolls shipping Punnett squares into this. In a video about Homestuck? You really expect me not to mention the shipping quadrants? Ugh, fair enough. Please tell me you're here to talk some sense into that psycho. Yeah, that's gonna be a no. So as I said, I've been editing these recordings into the video and I am finding it, highly entertaining. You know, disturbing, but highly entertaining. Aw, yeah, high five there, future bestie! It's hard to high five over timelines, but, I appreciate the sentiment, Norota. Can you put it into the video, though? Sure. Why not? I guess just one more sprite to drop. Okay. Let me just clap my hands for the sound effect. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I say we gather on with the questions because we've already come this far. Might as well see it to the end. Question 9. Wait, what about questions 7 and 8? Already got you covered, bestie. I told you to stop calling me bestie. Oh my gosh, I am so tired of your stupid, condescending attitude. About me being
I can't understand what. Oh, really? You think this is being friendly?
I am
You're
being
allegedly
friendly.
the gold
Explain
blood.
to me what isn't
Use
friendly
your
about
brain
using the term bestie, bestie.
Is this friendly?
I called her bestie
Or is
and
this
she didn't have a problem with it because unlike you, she doesn't
behavior
blowing
because,
things way
oh
out.
my All right, come on, kids. Enough of that. Sad self, I'm gonna need you to take your anger level down by at least 1 Karkat. Are you quantifying anger levels in terms of Karkat? What does that even mean? I believe I requested 1 Karkat, sad self. And Norota, please stop calling her bestie. You remember how it was? She's clearly going through some things. I hate myself so much.
fine, future bestie. So as Naroda already mentioned, she's already covered question 8, and it looks like question 7 was another attempt by Superpast Self to provoke us into creating a troll Sona, which Naroda already did as well. So,
look at me nailing
that's
the
why we're skipping
questions
ahead.
list.
Alright, question 9, and why don't you take on this one, Sad Self? What was your favorite Homestuck moment? The stupid interview with my stupid future selves being over. Alright, enough with that passive-aggressive nonsense. Come on, answer the question, Sad Girl. Fine. Sooner I comply, the sooner this is over. Oh, okay, my favorite Homestuck moment. Wait, are you drinking something? Please tell me there isn't alcohol in that. Nah, just Faygo. Oh, right, of course you finally
stupid enough to add
found
alcohol
some
into this
Faygo.
mix.
How far in the future are you? Have you managed to get a hold of the cotton candy Faygo? Nope, still working on the cotton candy Faygo. How does this one taste? It's orange flavor and it tastes like orange soda. I was really expecting this to be cursed, but it's just, sugary orange soda. It's not bad. It's just orange soda. I also have a peach one around here somewhere, but, yeah. Still just soda. Alright, enough of this pointless banter. You're avoiding the question, Sad Girl. Fine. Okay, in terms of funny moments, penis Ouija board. Good choice. And in terms of emotional moments, I don't know, maybe when Dave and Dirk finally get to have a conversation. Oh, also good choice, best choice you could have made. Oh yeah, smooth save there, Naroda. Also, Naroda, it looks like you've already answered questions 10 and 11. What did you like about Homestuck and what did you not like? Let's move on to question 12. Would you recommend reading Homestuck? That's a really good question. Well, you heard my discussion of what I felt the good and bad parts of Homestuck are. I would say if you start reading Homestuck and you enjoy the characters and the dialogue, keep reading because there's more of that, and keep in mind that even though the beginning is slow, it does eventually speed up a bit. But you should be aware of Homestuck's limitations while going into it, and you should also be aware that, as I mentioned, I don't think the ending is fully satisfying, because there was just so much to pull back together by the end. I realize that not everyone feels that way, though. I know some people really do like the ending, so I guess overall I enjoyed it for the most part, and I'm glad I read it, but it is an undertaking, and I definitely don't think Homestuck is for everyone. Huh. You actually sounded rational there for a moment. Aw, thanks. I hate that I know this, but you just mouthed the bestie at the end of that, didn't you? You know it! Did you agree with her assessment, Sad Girl? You're a bit closer to having just finished it. Yeah, the main thing is it's just really, really long. Alright, and then the last question... Did Vriska do anything wrong? You don't actually expect me to answer that, do you? No, that would be insane. All right. So I think my work here is done. Let's finish up that countdown, shall we? Image number 7. This is called Disgusted Trolls and Jack and is from page 2482. The combination of Karkat's expression, with Jack's facepalm double combo, with Gamzee's passing out with a honk. Beautiful. Perfect. I cannot say enough good things about this picture. Image number 6. This image is John Deranged Smile from page 3690. Perfect for those times when you've slept approximately 5 hours in the past few days because you've been hyper-focused on a dumb story from 10 years ago. Just no thoughts, head empty, keep smiling there, John. Alright. And now, to the top 5. Image number 5. This one is called, surprise, surprise, Genuine Distress. It is from page 2130. What I love about this picture is how understated Teresa's expression is compared to the words genuine distress. I don't know if I can explain why I love this image more than that, but thank you for your genuine distress, Teresa. Your sacrifice is much appreciated. Image number 4. This image is Aradia finger pistols from the Flash game on page 5263. You guys. I've legitimately been using this picture so much. Truly a fantastic reaction image. The finger guns combined with the slightly deranged expression is genuine perfection. I love those Dave thumbs up pictures, but let's be real. If you're still watching this video, you're likely also a gremlin, like I am. Go for the finger pistols. In fact, I've used the finger pistols enough that I'm actually going to give you a bonus image here so that you can switch it up a bit. This one is Jake winking from the animation on page 4752, and as you can see, he has literal guns in his fingers. Also a great picture. My recommendation is start with Aradia, but you don't want to saturate your chats, so add a little Jake in the mix once you start feeling Aradia getting stale. Just some friendly advice from your curator of memes buddy here. Image number 3. Here we have Dave and Stu from page 2773. I adore this picture so much. I don't know how this image can be such a mood, but I swear it is. It's like the everything is fine meme, except instead of blithely smiling, you're crying while alligators throw onions at you. If any picture encapsulates my Homestuck experience, it's this one, right here. Image number 2. This image is called Spade Slick Burning, and it's from page 1158. Man, I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes you just need to set stuff on fire. I feel you, Spades. I feel ya. I'm sorry, I know we're almost to the end, but I'm cutting in once more. This isn't really an intermission, it's more of a metamission, if you'll excuse me for how pretentious that sounds. You see, today is April 12th. I am finalizing the video that you're watching right now, and I have a few last thoughts on this video that have decided they want to escape from my head onto your screen. I promise I'll try to keep this quick, and don't worry, the irony of me complaining about Hussey's inability to streamline the plot of Homestuck when I myself am prone to their exact same types of self-indulgences is not lost on me. As a preliminary matter, my Homestuck review team, aka my friend Akita, has informed me that more controversial than wanting to build Jurassic Park on Alternia are probably the facts that I've attempted to invent a new class spect, and that I made a gold blood without psionic eyes. I do not apologize for the former. For the latter, though, Naroda covers her psionic eyes with contacts after nearly killing her best friend on accident with her psionic powers. It's how she copes with the trauma. That was definitely in her backstory from the beginning and not something I made up just now to cover up the fact that the psionic eyes scare me, and I was prioritizing aesthetics over canon accuracy. Now then, I am honestly not sure what this monstrosity I've created is, or if it's actually good or funny. I suspect that what I'm seeing in my panicked, sleep-deprived state of Homestuck oversaturation is probably not an accurate reflection of the finished whole. My initial plan was to make a straight reaction image ranking video as a joke, but things snowballed in my head as they tend to do. In the end, this video is less about Homestuck itself, and more about how it feels to read Homestuck, and especially to read it in 9 days. As strange as it may sound, this video is perhaps the most honest reaction I could give to reading Homestuck. I've thought about editing parts of this video down, but somehow this strange creature you see in front of you feels to me that it is as it should be, if that makes any sense. After all, it wouldn't feel much like Homestuck if I'd kept things sane and linear, and if there wasn't an author getting in their own way. And isn't honesty often at the heart of art, if I can be so bold as to call this video art, that is? The past few weeks have certainly been a performance art piece on how loud you can cry for help before someone stages an intervention, and I'm still waiting for the record. You see, I spend so much time dreaming of the art I'd like to make, and I spend so little time actually making it. There is absolutely a reason for that. Making art is hard and exhausting and painful. It's cutting out a small portion of your soul to breathe life into something new, and it hurts when the thing you've created is bad, or if people don't like it, or if what is possibly the most excruciating of all. Nobody ever sees it to begin with. But perhaps what I forget is that this part of my soul wants to be carved out, that it needs to be carved out, that if I leave it in me, it grows cancerous and it plagues me with the knowledge that maybe I could have made something great. If only I wasn't so obsessed with meeting my own platonic ideals for what the things I make should be. I learn so much more from creating one piece of bad art than I do from dreaming of 100 good ones. I've said a lot of things about Homestuck, but now that I'm at the end of the weeks-long journey that has been leading to this video, I think Homestuck deserves for me to say one thing more, and that is, I wish I could make something as beautifully flawed as Homestuck. Homestuck has a certain reputation online, but what that reputation misses is there are parts of the comic that are truly insightful, that are borderline genius, even if its parts don't always form a coherent whole. And I wish I could make something that touched just a fraction of the people Homestuck has touched, that could spark imaginations the way it has, that could inspire someone more than a decade after its inception to make a truly unhinged reaction video, because even being flawed as it is, it still holds that sort of power. I've realized in talking about Homestuck to people I know who read it as it was coming out that perhaps even more fascinating than Homestuck itself is the oral history around it. And yes, that includes the fandom drama and the hussy drama, but also the staggering amount of talent that got their start with Homestuck. From fan artists and fan fiction writers to the insanely gifted music team involved in the comic. Whatever else Homestuck is and is not, it has legitimately changed people's lives, and it has changed a great many of them for the better. So, to the 5 of you still watching this video, thank you. Thank you for sticking through this honest, hot mess. Thank you for holding the soul piece that I pulled out of my chest and planted into the nebulous grounds of YouTube where, who knows, maybe this part of me will live forever. Maybe my many greats-grandchildren will stumble upon this video and wonder about my sanity the way I'm sure you are right now. If so, hey kids. Hi from your long-past relative. I hope we didn't leave Earth in too bad of a state for you to inherit. Or maybe in 500 years when our planet has been ravaged by the effects of global warming, the last remaining server archive of YouTube will flood and it will be as though this video never existed in the first place. The fact that I made a thing, a true, if imperfect thing, that will live on its own for however long or brief that time may be, maybe that's enough. With that in mind, let me finish telling you about Homestuck. So here we are, the moment you've been waiting for all video, the #1 reaction image, and let me preface this with, I genuinely don't think you'll agree with me, because so far, nobody has had the instinctive reaction to this image that I have. But I am the curator of memes here. This is my collection. This is my #1 reaction image. Dismayed Slimer from page 831 of Homestuck, though he also shows up later in the story. I cannot fully articulate why Dismayed Slimer speaks to me. I think it's the combination of the expression with the fact that he's so crudely drawn and horribly pixelated. It's like Dave's terrible Bro and Jeff comics, except instead of making fun of Bro and Jeff, I just empathize so deeply with Slimer. Maybe it will make more sense if I show it in the context of the panel in which he first comes up. I mean, just look at him, alright? Just complete dismay at having been forced to witness the insanity of this adventure he's been on. Just the true encapsulation of the feeling, oh, great, fantastic, fantastic. Why? Help? And again, why? I'm quite sure that literally none of that made sense, but it doesn't matter. You'll always be my boy, Dismayed Slimer. I swear this is not me trolling you. This is truly me loving this picture from the bottom of my nerdy, weird little heart. I love him so much. If I could have John's t-shirt with Slimer on it, except it was Dismayed Slimer, I would buy that in a heartbeat because, oh my gosh, yes. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was amusing to you at least, and I also hope for my sake that if I decided to actually talk about my opinions on Homestuck, they weren't too spicy. I hope the comment section isn't too spicy. If my work as a curator of memes has edified your life as much as it's edified mine, why don't you give— Hey, I'm cutting in. Nobody watches the ends of my videos anyway, so who cares if I cut off the pre-recorded voiceover? What I really want to know is, okay, so I have a great idea for fan fiction where instead of getting stabby, Jack unionizes the black chess pieces with help from Baking Dad. And I just want to know if there's an audience for that kind of story, or if I just be, wasting my time. Oh my gosh, you just won't shut up. You won't shut up. This is the end of the video. You should be done here. Just let the voiceover finish its work. Oh my gosh, I'm begging you. This doesn't concern you. This is between me and the viewers. Like and subscribe. I talk about video games and make music sometimes. Stop being such a theater kid. Well, if you're not going to let the voiceover be recorded finish the job, then I guess I have to finish it myself. I certainly can't trust you to do it. I stream on Twitch, usually on Thursdays. We have a lot of fun there. Follow me on Twitch. And you've been acting like I'm the melodramatic one. Well, who's remember that the reaction images are all in the description now. I think that's everything. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Viewers, let me know in the comments, okay? The alternate Unionverse. Is that something you'd like to see? Goodbye! All right. Until next time. Stay sane out there. Oh my gosh. You are in no position to be saying a statement like that. I'm not the one getting all huffy just because one of us decided to spice up the videos. I'm getting huffy because you didn't need to be here. Why don't you just work on trying to find your stupid cotton candy Fago? Seems like a better use of your time than this nonsense. Calm down, bestie. Stop calling me! Sorry, future bestie. I take it all back. Reading Homestuck was most definitely a mistake.